Hi, as you can see, I am Carlos Carrera, and this time I am going to talk about CLIL and its predecessors. So, first we have to talk about the Canadian Immersion Program. It was divided in stages. For example, early total, partial, late total, late partial, or late. These stages were defined by the time or the moment of the application of the program, meaning that if the teacher wanted to apply it in the young stage of the learners, or if they wanted to apply it for, I don't know, advanced learners. The second language was used for language instruction or the delivery of the subject matter classes, meaning that it was not, the use of this language was not limited to just teaching in a specific subject. It can be taught or used in other language like science or math. Teachers were bilingual, but that wouldn't mean that they were real experts. They have a similar but limited knowledge of this language. It was made for learners who were never exposed to this language or they were not aware of its features. And they were made for middle class people, meaning that if you have the resources or you have the connections, you could access this. Otherwise, it could be a little difficult. And they were carried out in immersion centers or designated classrooms. As I previously said, if you can afford it, you can attend to, to these centers, or if your school was able to do this program or apply this program, well, you could be taught in this program. And this program was designed to acquire the second language without diminishing the first language, meaning that this second language will not have a negative effect on the first or native language skills. Then we have the North American bilingual teaching model. This model was also divided in stages. We first have the early transitional and the fully bilingual. Later we will explain this, what those terms mean. So the second language in this model will increase over the time, while the first language will be reduced because this model aim to increase the use and practice of the second language over the first. And most of the teachers or employees were certified bilinguals, meaning that they had a higher level of proficiency of this language compared to the Canadian immersion program. The students were non-native English speakers, meaning that they didn't have any idea or a clue about the use of the language. It was aimed for low class, meaning that it can be taught in most of the schools, but it was not the same content or the same level as the Canadian immersion program. And it was mostly directed to quickly move the students to another level of proficiency, meaning that in the early transitional, it was expected that if a student achieved a certain level, he could quickly move to other, or in fully bilingual stage, it was aimed that the students would have a similar or imitate the native like English proficiency. And finally, we have the CLIL model. It is flexible for curriculum design. Similar to the Canadian immersion program, it could be implemented and in the early stage of the education process of the learners or in advanced stages. Also, we can adjust it to the time constraint. The main purpose of the CLIL model is that we will use an additional language for teaching language and content. Similar to the immersion program or the teaching model, it was not limited to just teach a certain or a specific language, but it will be used in other subjects. And the CLIL teachers prefer to elaborate and use original materials and differently for the other models or programs where they were expected to use material that was provided by the government or a educational system. This model was friendly and flexible for all the students, but it may be addressed to, or better say, the achievement will depend on the level of the instructor or the instruction. Because if you wanted to achieve a higher level of proficiency, you could attend to more elitist courses, or if you just want to achieve a medium or low proficiency level, you could see it as a EFL subject, or for example, if you wanted to travel to another country, well, you could define if you wanted to live in that country, meaning that you want to learn for long-term use, or if you want to be a tourist, meaning that you will learn this language for short-term use. And as I say, their goals could be adjusted to the ones proposed by the school or the program, meaning that you can define if you want it to be for short or long term. And that's all. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.